Patch 11.2.7 is Blizzard's chance. Seriously, this patch could bring people back to World of Warcraft for midnight and actually keep them forever, or at least close enough forever to be good news for Blizzard. And I'm serious here, so let me explain what's going on. Obviously, the big feature is player housing, but that is not all, because we're also getting the upgraded Exile's Reach. We're getting streamlined campaigns, and to get everyone talking, for better or for worse, the return of Sylvanas. But actually, that is only a fraction of this genuinely giant patch. But first, perhaps the largest change, and this is one that could save WoW for new players, and it is strafing by default. Yes, the A and the D keys, instead of turn your character, they will strafe your character. And listen, the default effect is a seriously huge thing. You know, organ donorship analogy goes here. And this means that for a lot of new players, they will get used to playing WoW the right way. That matters. Now, December 2nd is the date for this patch, and it's basically the most important date WoW's had for a long, long time. And not just because of this snazzy little new upgraded cursor. No, there's actually a shitload of features. Now, there is one other thing, and it's more important if you're, say, a Discord user, because Discord got hacked. That's just one of the many stories of data breaches and these security breaches, and even invasive people search sites that are a thing in America. They're too common, and they are why I use today's sponsor, Incogni, because Incogni helps me fight back. You see, whenever data leaks, data brokers harvest it and they sell it on. It's how they earn money. And if you ever wonder how spam callers get your number, it's often that. Now, Incogni solves the problem by automating all the legal work you would otherwise have to do. And if you join at incogni.com/bellier, you get 60% off an annual plan. And the way it works is crazy because you just enter your info and then it works. That's really it. You see, you've got a legal right to have your data taken down, but that means hours of paperwork and it's not permanent. Incogni, once it has your data, automatically scans brokers, sends takedown requests, and adds you to suppression lists. It does that automatically, and it will consistently rescan the brokers to ensure your data is kept down. Just take a look at my dashboard, it's pretty cool. 214 takedowns sent, 1 in progress, 213 completed, and I am on 26 suppression lists, which is pretty damn good peace of mind. And over at incogni.com/bellular, you'll get 60% off an annual plan, so you can also have that peace of mind. And of course, the easiest way is to just click that link down below. Patch 11.2.7 is called The Warning, and in every way, it is a prologue to Midnight. The story content is rather massive. Sylvanas returns in a quest that has had PTR testers cry with joy. Actually, yeah, really, they've actually done a few good things with her. Anyway, we also meet Arator with his new broed out haircut, and with him we learn more about the light. And there's a new lore walking campaign, and this one's awesome. It teaches you everything about Quel'Thalas. Blood elves, void elves, the works. And even though it's only been out for days, PTR testing shows this is a surprising amount of high quality story content. So for a single patch, especially a minor patch, that's impressive. But here's the thing actually, Blizzard knows that context is important to enjoying their story, so for the first time, they're making sure it's available to everyone. And I think to me, it just means they are taking engagement with Midnight's story very, very seriously. That is a good thing. This is almost certainly the largest play Blizzard have made for returning players, pretty much ever, and if you ask me, it is long overdue. The new player experience of WoW has been completely overhauled. Exile's Reach now features Jaina, Thrall, and Rathian, and the story of it connects directly to that of Dragonflight. And upon completion of Exile's Reach, you're immediately sent to Dragonflight. That means no more getting lost and confused in Stormwind or Org. And Dragonflight itself is massively trimmed, where you get all of the patches, you get story mode raids as well, and you'll actually get the whole story, including the patches and the spectacle of the big boss fights. It might be a bit silly, but trust me here, seeing Sarkarat's insane phase transition will be huge for player retention. Like, it looks awesome. New players will have never seen a spectacle like that in World of Warcraft. It's just a huge in-fight moment, it's simple, it looks cool, and, well, it promises more of the same stuff, especially because it sure does resemble the Midnight expansion. That's the kind of thing that will stick in players' minds, just like, say, the spectacle of the Dimensius fight. But here's the good news, it's not just Dragonflight. The War Within's campaign is also being streamlined. Blizzard calls it a recap, they say it will take just a few hours to complete, and it will take players from 70 to 80 through all of the patches, including Koresh. Blizzard really took their time here, and I think they're getting it right. But it ain't just story either. Gameplay for new and returning players is getting better as well. So the last few patches brought in things like the cooldown manager, the highlight system, and the one-button rotation. But now they're tackling something arguably far more important, and that is movement. Whenever you log in, you'll get a prompt to play the game, well, basically properly, strafing with A and D instead of being a keyboard turner. And I'm not joking, it has always been the better way to play in World of Warcraft. It should have been the default the whole time. Seriously, bad default controls are an absolute crime against the game, so I'm glad the Blizzard are addressing it here. They will also be teaching players how to interrupt in the catch-up experience as well. So a lot of good things for the gameplay, and that will make Midnight Dungeons way less frustrating for the rest of us, because new players will actually be trained. So whenever I say this patch could be the biggest in WoW's history for new players, I hope you see what I'm getting at here. It's addressing fundamental problems that have existed within WoW for a long time indeed. And of course, it's all happening before Midnight removes combat add-ons, improves combat, and everything else. But as for this patch, well, turns out there's actually way more. So far I've covered returning player stuff, but what about us veterans? Well, the Brawlers Guild is back. It has new bosses, new rewards, new challenge achievements, and you know what? It's been gone since Shadowlands, over 5 years ago, so let me jog your memory as to what it is. It's a series of incredible 1v1 PvE boss fights. And when I say boss fights, I really mean plural, because usually there's been 28 of them. Now, these fights are not as involved as, say, a Delve end boss like Kaivessa, though you should think of them as being similar to her, but a bit more simple. Now, maybe Blizzard's new bosses will be using some of their modern design thinking, maybe they'll be better than ever before, but real talk, the Brawlers Guild is one of the best bits of side content that WoW has ever had, and having it back is genuinely great news. And here's the genius part. It is the perfect way to practice playing your class with no add-ons. You know, before Midnight comes in and defangs them all. Brawlers Guild aren't your speed? Well, they're bringing back Turbulent Timeways with a twist. You get a ticket to pick one of 4 new mounts, instead of doing it every week for just one mount. We're not sure yet, but it seems like they'll sell them on a Timewalking vendor later on, so you'll want to make sure you've actually got the badges, which of course is fine. I'm sure you'll be farming lots of badges anyway, because, well, it's finally here. And I know you've been waiting for a long time. You're happy, I'm happy. It's Shadowlands Timewalking. It's actually here. Yeah, okay, I'm kind of taking the piss. I've not exactly been dying for Shadowlands Timewalking to be a thing, but hey, this is genuinely good news. Loads of Shadowlands items are going to be on the vendor. That means you don't have to farm them manually. Even reputation things, of course, because you can get rep from those vendors. And Blizzard are using it as an excuse to give us some cosmetics we've been waiting ages for, like a few colors of Uther's updated hammer and more Sylvanas quivers. But that's not all, because I've got something that will leave you quivering. Okay, I lied, it may not leave you quivering, but beyond Timewalking, they are bringing in another neat thing, which is this expansion's meta achievement. If you do this achievement, you'll get the Gear Grinder mount, and this time there's some interesting housing decor as well. And interestingly, it may be time limited, and I say that because right now, one small part of it requires completing Glory of the Delver. Now that means killing one of this expansion's Delve bosses while it's current, which obviously may not be possible whenever Midnight launches, so be sure to get a kill on Kaivessa just to be safe, though otherwise it's a full world tour of absolutely everything in this expansion. If you want to squeeze every last dollar worth out of your sub, finish this achievement and yeah, you can pat yourself on the back. And now, time for the big thing, and that is player housing. Obviously, one of the major things in this patch is player housing. Actually making your house and your neighborhood is huge, but something's even bigger, and that is decor, because there is an almost endless amount of old content that you can do to get decorations for your house. Because all this new stuff is just the start. Even not thinking about the contents of Midnight, all professions across the game's 20 years have got housing items. But quite a bit more than that, because there's also achievements, like say the Legion Order Hall campaigns. If you want your house to look properly druidly, then you'll absolutely want to go and get those achievements, because they will unlock decoration items. And honestly, that'll keep you busy until the pre-patch is done. There is a huge amount here. But there's another thing, and that is Legion Remix's final phase. You see, we now know how Legion Remix works. We know tons of deco rewards are going to be added once patch 11.2.7 comes, but we don't know what the last phase is, other than Infinite Echoes, because that's what it's called. But we've got absolutely no idea what Blizzard are planning for it content-wise, though it does seem the devs are quite excited about it. There's this one achievement, Cloudy with a chance of Infernals. Will it be raining Infernals from the sky, maybe? And also, Eternus has made a lot of comments about the experiment unraveling. Those are our only hints, and here's my guess. I think it will be a period where the game completely breaks, but in a good way. And that would mean hyperspawns, maybe bosses spawning in Dalaran, that sort of thing. Basically, the kind of last day of school energy that WoW betas usually have, where at the end of a WoW beta, what ends up happening is GMs come in and they spawn insane amounts of mobs and do crazy things at the big cities, and everyone has a big celebration. So, if they can do that in real World of Warcraft, that would be pretty cool indeed. Hopefully, though, it means we'll be able to get tons more bronze for rewards and housing items. Now, I know juggling different versions of WoW with different sets of rules and mechanics is a little bit confusing, so if you want to get in the Legion Remix bandwagon now while everyone's having tons of fun, good news! We made an overview and guide. You can check it out here. It will get you up to speed and save you hours upon hours upon hours. Just check it out next.